Good morning. I just wanted to, last night, Lynn and I did a kind of a panel thing on how we used ClickUp in order to streamline our operations. But today, what I wanted to do is actually give you a visual. So I'm hoping that the tech side works for me today. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Leslie Leondis, owner of Next Path Coaching and also Leondis CPA, where we help other accountants, bookkeepers, and tax pros actually streamline their operations and have a business that they love and get their life back. So, what I want to do today is show you how an effective task management system works in any type of business. And I'm just going to say this at the very beginning, I don't care what system you use as long as it solves the problem. The one that I'm going to be talking about today is ClickUp. And we have been on ClickUp for about 4 years, and it has been a game changer for not only me, but also my team. My team knows what they need to do each and every day when they just start their computer and load ClickUp. They know exactly what they're supposed to do. I can look in and see what they're supposed to work on today or what they're planning on working on today. I can see so many tasks of what they're doing, whether it be marketing, sales, no matter what it is, I can see it. So it's full circle of the business. And what I've seen so many times is business owners have no idea what their team is working on. They spend so much time trying to figure out what is it I need to do today. They have pieces of paper, post-it notes of everything, and not even everything, just scattered. There's not an organized way to keep up with it. So they end up in this like cycle of never ending task. And then when you come into busy season like January, it only gets worse. So, and I want to tell you that ClickUp was a game changer for our January through April. And no, it is not a client portal. So our clients don't touch our ClickUp. It is only for internal. We have other systems for that. So what I want you to focus on today is how to get all the tasks that you have here into a system, no matter what system it is. And I'm going to attempt to share my screen and show you how this works. So just bear with me just a moment while I plan out, I try to figure this piece of tech out. So here we go. So this is ClickUp. And the way that this works is the way that we have it set up is we have a workspace over here that shows all the clients listed out. And this is our beta account. So, and it's ClickUp is very, very customizable, but I've also seen some disasters with it, which is why we have developed a course on actually how to build ClickUp to actually serve you. So we have each client listed out. Then this mirrors the engagement letter, mirrors it. So if we do 1099s, there's a list here that says that we do 1099s. If we don't have a list, that means we don't do it. So this has stopped scope creep significantly, because a lot of times we would do 1099s for clients that it wasn't even in their contract to do 1099s. And I see this a lot. And we even did a ClickUp conversion from Asana, and she didn't realize the amount of work they were doing that they weren't being paid for. So, and then two, every task lives here. So this is their task that generated on January 1st. Then this one is going to generate on January 2026. You can set these up for whatever. And then in here, we have the process on how to do it. And this is linked to a Google document. So this way you can have the process actually linked so people know what they're supposed to do. So this is how to do it. This is what to do. So this has stopped so many questions in my firm that I can't tell you enough of how much this has saved so much time and so much of my precious hours that I have to work by having this process and this checklist tied in together. in the task management system, because a lot of times we build out processes, but they're nowhere linked. So the big conversion I talked about we did from Asana, she had her processes documented, but nobody went to them because they were hard to find, and they didn't know they existed. This way, the team member has no question that there is a process for this particular task. And if the client, let's say this was an extensive 1099 process, if this was like we used to have some huge construction clients, then we could make the process specific for them. And so this tells what to do, and they have to check each one of these off. So then I can easily go in and see where they're at. So it has on here contact for missing missing W-9s. Well, they can flip the status to missing information, and then we have a dashboard that shows which ones are missing information. So it's so easy to see where the team is. And then we have stuck. That means they're stuck internally. That means that they cannot move on. They're flat stuck. And then here they can tell us what they're stuck on. So, and I see so many people still communicating through email internally. That's just crazy. Or they're doing it in Slack. But when we had Slack or Teams, but when we had those, I couldn't tell by the description what they were even talking about. So here they put a comment where they're stuck, so I can easily see what they're stuck on and answer them right here. So I just do like at Megan, do this and send. And then she responds right back. So this removes Slack from our organization, because now we talk about it straight in the task management system. So then the reviewer also has information on it. And so like, let's say Lynn is the reviewer. Lynn can see what she's stuck on as well. And then I've answered her. So it took away of what are you stuck on and 3 people in the mess of the thing. So it really helps isolate that. So like I said, they can see that we have yearly action items. So this is where their tax returns live. So like this one is scheduled to work on Monday. So that way they can see, hey, we hadn't even finished month end yet. So because the tax preparers can also go here and see which months are due. So this is our beta one, and we have some overdue stuff. So they can see that, hey, this tax return is not ready. Because what happens in some firms, especially larger firms, and this works for small, if you're by yourself, because how many times are you trying to figure out what to do? So this works if you're by yourself, even if you don't have a team. This works if you're mid-sized and if you're large. Because what would happen in some firms that had tax prep and accounting separate, they were working on the tax return before the month end was actually complete, because the client had sent in all their documents, but their month end actually hadn't even been completed yet. So then they had wasted hours on that client because the tax return wasn't ready to be done. Accounts payable. If you have accounts payable, like here, that you have pay bills every single week. So all of these have, and then you should have an assignee here, but this is so that way the client knows every single week you pay bills on the same day. And let's say I wanted to put this to Chelsea one week, and then the next one I wanted to put to Peyton, I could. So it's easy to delegate and move tasks around. So that's what I saw such flaws in other systems, is once you moved it to one person, it was really hard to get it to go to the right person the next time. And this one makes it so much easier. Sales tax. I know multiple times I used to have issues with getting the work papers for sales tax, and it would be right up to the deadline. So this way they can put their task, like they have the task on February the 1st. And so that way they know it's on their radar that I got to do sales tax. And then they have in here the process on how right here, there's supposed to be a process on how to do it and the checklist of what to do. So this took away a lot of my time messing with sales tax, because I had on here exactly what to do. And yes, it took me to dump the brain, and it took time. But I'm telling you, an effective task management system first really, really helps. I can't stress that enough. And if you have questions on anything I'm going over, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I will answer them as you have them. So this is the same concept down here. Then we also keep up with our prospects in here, and this is how we follow up with people. Then we also have like all of our content. So like I said, this is a market. We have all of our marketing living in here as well. This tells me when to write content. And also, we have scheduling content by another person. So it tells us how to actually schedule that content out with a process. And then I know so many accountants get so behind on their own stuff and their own business because they don't have anything that tells them to work on it. Well, that's where it's easy to delegate, where you can actually have team do part of it. Or this reminds you, hey, I need to do my own books. Because if you're not doing your own books, then let's talk about that. Let's talk, because we do bookkeeping for accountants and bookkeepers. There's no shame in asking for help. And the people that we have done bookkeeping for have actually increased their revenue because we're able to identify so many other things. So back to ClickUp. I just had to say that. Personal workspace. This is where, like, if you need to schedule a doctor's appointment, or how many times, and I know when my kids were little, I would be like, I need to schedule Emily a doctor's appointment. And then I looked up and it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, crap, I forgot to schedule her doctor's appointment. I put all of that in here. So if I need to schedule a doctor's appointment, there's something I need from the grocery store, whatever, I have it in one place. Each of our teams have their own personal workspace, so you can get that stuff out of your head and focus. Because the whole time that you're talking about, you're thinking, I need to schedule a doctor's appointment. I need to schedule a doctor's appointment. I need to schedule a doctor's appointment. You're losing what you're actually working on because your brain is focused on, I need to do this, where this gets everything out of your head and you don't have to worry about it later. And then you can do a separate workspace for tax. We have ours mixed in with our clients. So that's just to kind of show you. But the thing that is beautiful about this system, so I can come into everything and see. So if I want to see what Chelsea has to do today, I can totally see it. So now, since I moved that to her, it's overdue. I do not believe in overdue because overdue never happens. So we'll move this one because I want her to do this. I want her to do this today. So I'm going to move that to her today. So then this, I can look at this and see what all she has to do. And if you have the client names in here, you can see what client that she is planning on working on. So it's very easy to see. Well, let's say Chelsea's sick, then we can come into her board. Well, this is what she has planned. So then we need to move it to somebody else. So we can quickly come in here and say, okay, Chelsea's out sick. So let's move this to Megan, because Megan's working today and she has capacity. Because I can also look at Megan's board and see the same thing. And so so if somebody needed to work on this monthly, this has the monthly process, the review process, the financial statement process, and what they're supposed to do. So if I delegate this to Megan, she can just take it. She doesn't have to have, this has all the information she needs to in order to complete this. And she knows I want her to do it today. And then if she can't do it today, she's going to let me know over here in the comments, like, hey, I can't get to this today. And then, or she can say, hey, I can't get this today. Hey, Peyton, do you have room to be able to do this? So they delegate between each other because this information isn't living in somebody else's head. So that's what I want to get through to you today is get the information out of your head. This is why the accounting industry is so overworked, because there's so much intellectual property that lives right here that could be documented. And I hear people say all the time that I can't delegate because I'm the only person that can do it. And I call bullcrap on that. There is nothing in my firm that somebody else can't do, with the exception of signed tax returns. They can review them, they can prep them, but I have the ultimate, and I'm the ultimate one that signs them. I've had new people do tax returns with no issues with processes. And this is because they're that freaking detailed. I've seen people's processes that have big gaps in them. And this isn't about processes, but I just want to get this through to you. If you don't start today, it's never going to get better, ever. I started this process in first quarter of 2020, one of the worst years for accountants, but I started it. And yes, we tweak it every single freaking day. We tweak processes. For example, our 1099 video is out of date because QuickBooks made a lot of changes. So I told my team, hey, you need to go do a new video. But if you start somewhere, you have a chance to make it better. And I know this because I've been coaching accountants to do this for 5 years. And some of them have taken so much time off this year, they can't even believe how much time off they've taken. And it's because they've taken the time to document their process. And they're in a completely different space a year later than they were when they started with us a year ago. So I urge you, and they don't use ClickUp. They use a completely different task management system, but it's the same freaking concept. Same concept. So if you want more information on ClickUp, drop ClickUp in the comments and I will be glad to reach out to you and give you more information. If you have questions, drop them in. So, and I talked about notification. I talked about communication. So I want to touch on that a bit too before we go. So here's where the communication happens. See how clear this is? So this shows everything that's happened with this particular tag. So like Megan left herself, had a good call, need to follow up on Tuesday. That's her message to herself that, hey, this is when I need to follow up. So then she comes up here. So you just clear it. And so this one, Chelsea says content's ready to be scheduled. So everything is in here. So you don't have information siloed. And that's what I see in firms all the time. Even if it's just 2 people, information is siloed. Because what happens if that one person is out, and I know this from experience, there's information in their email, there's information on their desk, there's information in notebooks, there's information freaking everywhere. But what if you could get it down to one system? And that's what ClickUp is about, which is one of the reasons I went to ClickUp, because ClickUp is not specific for the accounting industry. And I wanted it to be able to grow as we grew. So if we needed to add another team member, we could. And we talked about Lynn and I talked about something last night about building out, like if you're over capacity. And so let's say there's days that I have like 50 something tasks here. And I'm like, there's no way I can get 50 something tasks done today. There's just no way. So I planned it out, like, when can I do it? But then I also look at it and I'm like, should I be doing this? And so like this particular one, this is sending a proposal. Maybe Chelsea's not the right one to do it. So you can add a tag to move off. If, I don't know if it's in this one, but you can actually put a tag on here to move off. So maybe it's bank feeds that she shouldn't be doing anymore. If she's a higher level accountant, she shouldn't be doing it. So, I don't think there's one in here that says move off. So, but we'll make one. So it's still client work, but then it's move off. And then you can pull a report that shows that. So then when you do hire, number one, you can pull that report and see what type of tasks need to be moved off. Are they lower bookkeeping? Are they admin? Are they marketing? What needs to be moved off? Because I have so many conversations with people that say, I need to hire a higher level because I can't get my work done. I'm like, okay, but what are you working on? I have no idea what I'm working on. But it's a lot of admin, but they don't have it in a system that actually shows them what they're working on. So every day I look at my board, should I be working on this? Is the most value for my time to be doing this? And then if it's not, I'll either delegate it or I'll put this tag move off. because that means eventually I need to move it off. And that also shows me if there's no process, I need a process on it, because I'm never moving it off unless I give them a process on how to do it. We do not meet internally to show people how to do work. They have to be able to read, and they have to be able to follow the process. And if they can't follow the process, then we're like, where are you stuck? Highlight it. And then we rewrite that portion of the process. And if they have a question, then we're like, did you read is that in the process, and push them back to the process. So that gets them used to using the process. So this is how an effective task management system works, with processes, with checklist, and also with the review process, because on our month end, we show exactly what I'm looking for. So I think it was Megan that had a month end. So let's go change that. And so see how easy it is to move from board to board. So like Megan has a monthly right here, and then we have a review process. We have a review checklist, which I think a little bit longer than this now, and then a financial checklist. So she can review her own work. This has really taken our review to a different level where I'm not really having to review. I look at clients' QuickBooks for the higher level stuff. And I know there's so many accountants that want to get to that, but they can't, because this is what's holding them back. They're still in the prep process or the review process. Then that keeps it getting sent back to the team member. And you know how frustrating it is for team members to keep getting their work sent back, especially a month later? It is so frustrating for them. So this keeps us on track. And so if they have a particular one, let's say like today, I have 2 reviews that I need to do for financial statements because we have a team member out. So if I look at that and I haven't reviewed them in a very long time, except for very high level, I go through the review process as well and see if there's parts that's missing, or if there's something missed. I tell the team member, hey, did you follow the process? Why did you miss this? Because then they're not working necessarily from here. They're working from the checklist, because with one of those particular clients, I used to have to send it back 3 and 4 times every single month. And the whole board packet would change because of one error, the whole board packet. So it would take her 30 minutes to fix it every single time. How much time is wasted? And you wonder why you're working so much. So that's ClickUp in a nutshell. If you have further questions, feel free to ask them. Feel free to either DM me or comment below. We do have a ClickUp course that I will drop the link in the bottom, and it's a do-it-yourself course. And we also offer done-for-you implementations. So if you're interested in anything, please reach out. I will put the link to the course at the bottom, and I will also put the link to contact us in the bottom as well. So I hope this was helpful, no matter what system that you're using. And if you just want us to look at your system and say, hey, why is this not working? Or am I on the right track or whatever? Contact us. We'll be glad to look at your system. I cannot tell you the number of systems that we have looked at, whether it be Carbon, Monday, some Asana, Financial Sense, and there's a couple other ones that we have looked at to be able to identify this is the reason it's not working. So feel free to contact us, so that way we can look at it and get you going in the right direction. I hope you have a fabulous Thursday and have a great day.